hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. A woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Reverend Kiuna, and you're watching Woman Without Limits. It's been amazing. It's been so beautiful. The kind of stories that we've been bringing have been really, really making impact. And we want to thank God for that and for all your feedback. Keep it coming. Let us know that we truly are indeed affecting your lives positively. That's what Woman Without Limits is all about. And we bring stories to show you that it is possible for you to come from a distant place, so distant that it looks like you'll never amount to anything, and yet you turn it around by God's grace, and He makes you become all that you are created to be. I want you to know that you are a woman without limits, and if you're watching me as a man, you too are a man without limits. And so today we have brought this couple that are, you just better buckle your safety belt, buckle it. And call your friends to watch already, because this wonderful couple have a story to tell. Edwin together with Cynthia are a wonderful married couple, but we want to hear their story today. It's a movie. So how are you?
I'm good.
Karibuni sana.
Asante.
You're very, very welcome on Woman Without Limits.
Thank you
so much. It's a pleasure.
And it's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to start with, we're just going to go flow with both of you. And you tell us first, Cynthia. Ladies first.
Okay.
Who is Cynthia?
Okay. So Cynthia is currently, I am the managing director of Power Talks Limited. But also Cynthia is a very humble young lady, married to Edwin, happily with 2 children. Yes.
Yeah. And Edwin?
Edwin is, I'm a brand strategist and also a husband to Cynthia. It's one son and 1 daughter.
So now, we're just rewinding. That's the way we rewind. How did you meet, and before you met him, who was Cynthia? Maybe you can start from there.
Okay, I'll begin from the journey of my story, because I believe if there was no story, there would be not me here today. So I was born in Nanyuki. We were living in the barracks with my parents, and they were very happy. We are 5 children. And all through my childhood, I was a happy kid. I used to be on top of my class. And my life in all this happiness and the good things, I saw my mom helping strangers. We used to have a lot of strangers in our house all through our childhood. But one day, my mom died. And that for me was the flip. It was like life was so good and then suddenly over. I was about 8 years thereabout. So when my mom died, it happened so coincidental that yes, we were staying in the barracks, but it's, the way army soldiers are moved to different barracks. So it so happened that at that very time, that very month, my dad had been transferred to Nairobi. So my dad came to Nairobi, and then also again, it was around September there. My childhood memory, if it serves me right, when we were staying in the barracks, and then now my dad had to come and stay. I had to move to jobs. I had to move jobs to Nairobi now. And then so at that very time also, our firstborn brother was staying, had gone to, he was in high school, Our second borns were also in high school. The last one, the second born, he had just, the third born, they are twins. The third born had just now moved to high school. He was finishing his class 8 and now going to high school. So clearly there was now separation. Dad is going to a new job. Brother, sister, brother, they're all in high school. They are going to high school. Then so it was my sister and I at that very time. My sister was in class 8. She was now going to class 8 the next year and she couldn't change schools. And I was still very young in class 4. And then now at that time, my dad moved to Nairobi and I think for a long time we did not hear from him. And it was just my sister and I who was I think 14 years. So we had to fetch for ourselves. We had to figure out how to survive in the barracks.
Wait, when your mom died, she left you at 8 years and the family separated?
Yes. I mean, that's now where I'm telling you it was like
Drama.
the defining, suddenly it was like this and then we have gone like this. Yes.
A flip completely.
Completely.
Turn around.
Turn
360-degree turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything just happened. And in the next year, it was just my sister and I, all alone in the barracks. And it went on like that for about 1 year. And we used to survive with neighbors' goodwill, kind teachers in school.
Like your father is not even getting in touch.
We'd call. That time there were no mobile phones. And remember when my mom was there and everything, my dad was very, very well. I used to see him and my mom and I'd say, this is the template I want for myself when I grow up. Because I'd seen, he didn't even want my mom's things to be touched. He had placed her in a level that all of us were just admiring my mom's marriage. And then suddenly, she's dead. And then now, flip happens. And at that time, we were very good, actually. In the 1980s, when you have 2 cars, you are doing very well.
Absolutely.
And my dad had 2, one matatu and one saloon car. So we were good. We were highly respected in the barracks, to be precise, So for life to change like that, even our neighbors were shocked. It was
a total turnaround.
Turnaround.
And of course, it affected you negatively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. First, I was still understanding death. It was my first encounter with death. I was still understanding it. And a few times before my mom died, it's like I could feel it. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Was she ill?
Yes. I don't know. But what I hear right now, as I've grown up, is that she had stomach ulcers. It was very bad. So at that time when we were all, it was so good, and then she dies, dad is gone, brother, sister, bigger ones are all gone. So my sister and I were trying to survive in the barracks, living under neighbors' goodwill, find teachers who just sympathize with us. Sometimes I'd go back to school, my report card is not signed, and they'll ask me, why is it signed? I don't have an explanation. I look for my sister to come and explain. Sister talks to headmaster, please allow us to stay in school. And she's also in class 8. We were so still very young.
She's also a kid.
She's also a kid.
A kid trying to help the other kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For a long time it happened like that. That whole year, we were just my sister and I. And then now, towards the end of the year, an uncle of mine died. And so my dad came and he said, now it was like, oh, you have come. So he comes and of course, and then he said, I am taking you to Nairobi now for your uncle's burial. So gladly here, we are now moving to Nairobi. We left everything. Everything that was at home, we left them, and now we are coming to Nairobi. The burial was done, we went to the village, and then after the burial now, the big question, where are these kids going? My sister and I. She has cleared class 8. She needs to go to high school. I am just going to class 5. I need to continue. Where are these kids going? And then now, my grandmother decided to take me in from my dad's side. And then now my sister was going to high school, so she had to find a school. A cousin of mine who had some connection connected her to high school, and she went to Kijabi Girls, and she was okay there. But now for me, now I don't know, but I see my sister on holidays if I have to. And then there's no mom, dad is in Nairobi. There's no brother, there's no sister.
So you're literally alone?
Yes, with relatives who in the first place did not really appreciate my mom because she was from a different tribe. So us coming to fit in, me now coming to fit in, to live with relatives who in the first place did not appreciate my mom. So I'm having to, it was not easy. It was very difficult. I am coming from a place where blue band was obvious. Now I'm being told, Babako Janunua blue band. So
don't expect it here.
Don't expect it here. If you have to, peanut butter was special. I am coming from a place where it was obvious for us because my dad in the barracks, it's there, you know.
Right.
Now I can't have peanuts, you know. It's not obvious for me. Nyama was one piece, like a piece like this. So I am coming from a whole place where my dad, in fact, when I was young, he used to, until, I don't know, he used to like to pamper me, I'm the little girl and everything.
Right.
Suddenly, my dad who would say, don't eat, I'm coming home, I'm waiting for you. Now he's not there. I'm having to eat one piece of meat, and it is with a lot of soup, and you know, and other plates look fine, but mine looks different. You know, so having to look at
To battle with
exactly,
that.
to battle.
Like you're being, you know, like
Yes.
they're showing you obviously you don't belong here. It's just, you know, that you're here anyway.
I'm just here. Then I do any silly mistake, I'm now becoming a teenager. You know, there are things that are subsequently will change with
Yeah,
me.
right.
Of course, there is that age where you feel you're now a brat. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are 16 or you're turning 15, you're going and everything. Now I'm being stubborn. Then I do one silly mistake and I'm told, tutakupatia fare urudi kwa babako. Babangu ako wapi? Where am I going? To where? Where is he? You're telling me you'll give me fare to go to my dad. Where?
And find him where?
Where?
So you have no idea.
No idea.
Hold the thought right there. So we come to Edwin.
Yes.
So give us a story now of where you're coming from yourself.
For me, I was raised in a slum called Kariadudu. It's
Kariadudu.
Yes.
So there is really Kariadudu.
Yes.
Because I thought it was Kariobangi.
No.
No, I've heard my husband say Kariadudu. I honestly thought he was joking.
No, there's Kariadudu. It's just Kariadudu, Kariobangi, and Babandogo.
They are together.
Yeah, they are together.
Right.
So I was raised in Kariadudu in a family of 5. I'm the last born and the only son. But my dad was a MIA. He was not somebody probably we can look up to him because he was a drunkard. But my mom just she was a Christian and she used to take us to church. But for me, my life, it really became hard when my sisters couldn't go to school because my dad was not taking care of them. It was my mom who used to work and just to take care of them. Then it came a time my mom lost her job. So she had to now re-strategize everything. What happened is now my mom started going to Gikomba to sell clothes so that she can now take care of us. My dad used to come probably twice or thrice and then he leaves. So he was just somebody who was not there. Then there's this cousin of mine. He was really a cool friend of mine. And also in the slum, the only thing that you're exposed to is if you're not dressing properly and if you're not into a group or where you can be recognized, you're not, we used to call them ordinary. If you're not ordinary, where the OD came from. So when you're not in those kind of gangs, you're nobody in the slum. You can't seduce a lady because you have no standards. You're just there because you cannot wear the cool shoes that are coming out. You cannot wear jeans because you are depending on your mom or you're depending for somebody just to give you some. But I started selling groundnuts. I started selling groundnuts in the slum. After a while, just to support myself also and support my family at the age of 10.
10?
Yes. And then after a while I stopped and then I started selling mangoes. Then it changed. Things changed drastically. My cousin died. My cousin was in a gang, but he's no longer there. He died, but I was the one now who was there. But like I said, in the slum when you're there, you're just exposed to crime. And I lost really close friends of mine. Somebody you're talking to them right now, and the next time they're telling you, I'm going to do a car hijacking, and I need you to keep this for me. So they're picking, probably you're giving them a gun, and then tomorrow, before even 10, you get a phone call, this guy has been gunned down. Yes, and it's somebody that you know.
And that's your good friend
These
that you've known.
Yes.
Suddenly you're told they're dead.
They're dead. And that was the lifestyle. And you meet this, when you meet with these guys, these are new leader from Isili, these are new leader from this place. So life was really tough because you're just there, you're waiting. You know, when you're in the slum, the only things that really, when you don't have that mentorship, somebody to tell you that tomorrow is going to be a better day. When you see rich people, you're being told you need to be connected. you'll never be rich. Because in the slum, you just use, if you don't have salt, you have to go to the neighbor and say, "Dena chumvi yako bole, ama say dena kidogo." If you don't have sugar, probably in the morning, it's a needy way of life whereby you depend on that day. Because when you have, let's say, like 10 shillings, in those days, it can take you the whole day. Because you know you'll go to the Mama Gideri there, with your 5 shillings, you'll get your gideri, and then the other 5 shilling you can buy skuma, and then the day is sorted. So that life was really tough for someone like me. But as much as we were going on, my mom keep on telling me that one day you're going to be great, things are going to be fine.
Your mom would tell you that?
Yes, she used to tell me that, because she was the only person who believed in me. And she used to tell me that one day you're going to be great, and you're going to be fine. Yes, I was stubborn. I was stubborn here and there because the people.
Is it because you were hardened by life?
Yes.
That you became stubborn?
Yes, I was stubborn because also the people I was hanging around. I remember one time I've been to 4 high schools, because when I'm being taken to one high school, I used to be expelled, because I'm the one probably who will start maybe when I used to be in Matungulu mixed before it became.
You were in Matungulu?
Yes.
A nephew of mine was in Matungulu.
Yes. So I used to be in Matungulu. So and I used to be known when I was just coming from Form 1, but if you just mention my name, I used to be known in Matungulu because I was that guy. My box could not be touched, but I'm in Form 1, but I'm the one touching all the boxes from Form 1 up to Form 4.
And by touching, you mean you're keeping the things
Yes,
for them?
I'm keeping the things for them. So it came a time when you're in Form 1, you have to come to me and tell me, "I want you to keep these things for me, because my box, nobody can touch it."
Right.
Yes. And my cousin, when he used to come around to school, people knew the kind of person he was. He was known, because the people in Matungulu, majority of them were from Huruma, Kayol, all these places from around these lands areas.
Yeah.
So he was known.
He was known that he was a serious
Yes. He was a serious guy.
gangster.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was known. So life, but at times we will get chased because of school fees. But my mom really tried for us to go to school. She really tried her best, and I really thank her a lot. And then by the time I was finishing high school, going all the four schools, I came back, still in the slum, nothing to do again. You're thinking, what's next? What can I do next? And the people that you probably came around with, you're being told, this guy was gunned down, this guy was gunned down, this guy is no longer there, this guy is arrested. So majority of your friends are no more there. The ones who are there, probably the ones who are patient, and probably they want to see a better life that we're being promised, that tomorrow we are going to see that day. And for me, life changed. I got saved, by the way, at FEM, Faith Evangelistic Ministry.
Oh, wow. That's my mother's ministry.
Yes.
Yes.
So I got saved after a whole journey of just doing a lot of things. And doing things that I normally tell teens, you don't want to do things, then you come later to start regret. Because I was exposed to sex when I was 11. I was exposed to pornography and masturbation, things, because I used to do a lot of things. I used to sleep with married women. You're getting so
Married?
Yes.
As a boy?
Yes.
Are you serious?
It was really tough, because even my friends, there were only a few friends of mine who knew what we were doing. Yes, because when I used to come, that's when all these guys from all the area, let's say the bad guys, all the area, we used to come. Now they know I'm around. Now they also come, because we used to play karate. How can we call them? We used to gamble. Right. Yes. So when I'm around, they all come around. Yeah. But funny thing, all those people that we used to play with them, the cards, it's only 20% or 10% who are there. All these other guys are, right now as we are talking, they're all dead.
As we speak.
As we speak right now.
So you would be told they've been gunned down, but you would still continue with that life.
Yes. So we were, just continue with this life. But life changed. But when I got saved, life started changing from there, because I knew that my life now doesn't depend on me anymore. I have to depend on this Jesus. And I was told, I used to go to, because Karen was kind of us, so I was told to go to Pastor Steve Gishui in Kafem Korogosho.
Who was also a gangster.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we could also relate to him because he came from Korogosho and he had that life. So he was the one, probably, he was just teaching about faith. That, and there's one day he called me in front of the pulpit and he told me, one day you're going to be a great person in your family. That really changed my life.
Wow.
It really, so one day, so it means that really one day I'm going to be great. After that, that's when there was this time, I was just in the slum and I received a text. There's this Nigerian guy who's coming to Madare. When you sit down, at the end of the day, you'll get 1,000 shillings.
When you sit down
You just
in
sit
the
down.
meeting,
Yes.
just sitting
Just
present,
sitting there, yes.
you shall receive 1,000.
Yes, you
You said that's my kind of guy.
Yes, so he said, you just sit down and you get 1,000. I'm not doing anything in the slums.
Yeah.
So I said, I really want to go to this meeting because it's kind of awesome. Before that, I remember there's this, I was working at Roasters. I used to wash the toilets at Roasters. Then there's this lady I was dating. She dumped me at Roasters. It was 25th December. I remember. She didn't know that I was
Christmas.
over Christmas. She didn't know I was the one who was washing the toilets. She came to party with her friends. Then this one time, when she was partying with her friends, she saw me passing with a broom, and I didn't know she was there. But she was not that humble enough.
You didn't know she was there.
I didn't know she was there. She was not that humble enough to wait probably after or call me later. And just in front of those people, she came there. She started insulting me. I should never call her again. Me, poor guy. She just called me names.
Yeah.
She dumped me there.
Were you shocked yourself?
I was shocked because she was causing drama. I didn't know what to say. Because when in the slum, you don't want to tell this guy I'm
a slum boy,
I'm a
or
slum boy.
I wash
I
toilets.
wash toilets at Roasters.
You're posing.
Yes.
Because you know, the way you are telling me that the slum guys dress up.
Yes, dress up. You used to go to Gikomba, find your nice rubbers, or you go to your friend. When you go to meet a lady, you go to your friend who has a nice jeans. You tell him, there's this lady I'm going to meet. So it was a life that you're just living to impress people that probably they don't care about you. Yeah. So that was the life that I was supposed to. She dumped me. And that also that one really inspired me. And I said, one day I'm going to meet with you. I didn't tell her, but I told myself, because that day I lost my job at that place because my supervisor came, said that I'm causing havoc, and then I was expelled. I was around 1 a.m.
Everything happened at the same time.
At the same time.
We are nakudamp.
Then I'm being
You're sacked.
You're sacked. Yes, so
darkness just arrived on you.
Everything. Yes,
okay, hold the thought right
yes.
there. So now you're here, lost, living with people. You can't see your father, and they're telling you they'll chase you and take you to your father.
Yeah. So eventually, after class 8 now, I have to go look for my dad. It's time for him now to pick responsibilities. Entered a bus, Nairobi. I don't know Nairobi. I'm still very vague. But one thing I knew is that there is a barracks in Nairobi, and it's the headquarters. If I get there, and I know my father's service number, he'll be found. So I ended up at the DOD. I went to the DOD, and they found my dad. They said, okay, actually, he is in this headquarters. We'll show you his room, and you will stay there. I went and stayed. You know the way when you are in the barracks and you're not married. Okay, you are married, but your family is not here. They give you a single room you share with a friend. So I was showed a room where he was sharing with one of his friends. Then I went there. My dad, day 1 doesn't come. Day 2 is not coming. Day 3 he's not there. For a while he was not there. I was still living in that room with his roommate apparently, but his roommate was very, very gracious. He was a very gentleman, and he just told me, "We'll look for your dad." There was no phones then, you know. They were still very new. So eventually, on one occasion, an uncle of mine came. This uncle of mine, he and my dad are married from the same family. But he lost his wife just the same way my dad lost his. So they were all in a cocoon of consolation. So he comes and he tells me, Cynthia, if you keep looking for your dad here, you'll not find him. What will happen? I know your cousin. I know your cousin. No, before that, my uncle. So my dad came eventually with some other lady. And of course, these ladies, oh, okay, they don't care. We are not fighting for any space. Your dad is not you are not taking anything from me, so we are good. He takes me to town. We look for a school casually, and I'm admitted in a school without any papers. Funny school. I joined the school, and then the struggle continues. I'm still going to school from the barracks on and back and forth. So on this one occasion is when my uncle came and told me, you can't keep struggling here in the barracks. Do this. Your cousin, Nancy, is in Nairobi. You must be looking for her. This is her number, call her tomorrow. So I call Nancy from school. Then I meet Nancy. I'm fine now. I can go to school. You know, she was so happy to see me. We had not seen each other in a long time. So she was so happy to see me. And then on one evening, so Nancy we used to come to school. In the morning we leave together, and then in the evening we go back together. But I call her from the booth. So Nancy, where are you? We are going home together. She used to stay in Githurai. Why is this part of Nancy very important? Because to me, it was another turnaround. So in the evening, I'm calling Nancy. That day in the morning, I was leaving early, so she was left, I left before her. So I'm in school and everything, and then I'm calling Nancy in the evening as usual. No answer, no answer. The phone is just doing like out of service. So I'm wondering, am I going or what's happening now? Has Nancy decided to abandon me? I called my uncle who connected me to Nancy, and he's telling me, you don't know. I'm asking him, I don't know what. Nancy died today in a road accident in Githurai.
Hey.
Now I don't have anywhere to go. I didn't even go for Nancy's burial because I was like,
everybody close to you is dying like that.
It's just going.
Like how?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have to go and stay with an aunt of mine. You know those aunties, eh? You all have them. So this auntie, this is an opportunity for her. Wash clothes, do everything. I was that
You
girl
became her house help.
Yes, I became her house help. And I didn't have clothes because all my clothes were still at Nancy's. So I used to stay with my uniform. Shinda and I just remove the shirt in the evening, wash, put it back on, stay the whole day with my skirt and sweater for school. It was not a good experience. Then for a while, it went on like that. And then now my sister was coming from midterm. And she heard I was staying with this aunt. And you all know those aunties. You don't want to hear your baby brother or
because you don't want to go work. Yeah,
yes,
work there.
He's staying with them. So she hears I'm staying. She decides to come and see me. When she came to see me, she broke down in tears. And every memory of how we were struggling together in Nanyuki just came back. And now she came with a friend of hers. God had sent an angel for her in school as well. This girl's name was Mercy. Mercy was an only child. And so because she never knew what visitings were, and people would randomly visit her. When my uncle is available, we'd visit her. My dad, when he's available, when he remembers, he'd pop in. So Mercy's parents will come to school, visit her, and then give her things. So she comes with Mercy to see me at my auntie's place. And Mercy says, you know what? My bed is vacant. Come, take your things. Don't even come back here. Mercy takes me to her parents, and her parents were so gracious, very important people in my life again. They took me in as their child. I stayed with them, and for a while, I was fine. You know, it was
You could breathe again.
I could breathe, I would sleep, eat, and feel loved again.
Right,
You know,
right.
it was good at that time.
Yeah, a family setup.
Family setup.
And then especially having lost your mom and family really from the age of 8.
Yeah.
That was really, really tough.
Remember, at this time, I've not seen my bro, I've not seen my sisters, I'm missing them, I don't know, I'm just hearing, oh, Nora is in here, oh, Ali is in, you know, you just hear stories of your close people where they are. Anyway, thank God, on one occasion, I was united with them, and it was such a happy reunion.
After a long time.
After a long time. You know, even today, when we get together, it's a big ceremony that the 5 of us are together, you know. So, at that time now, staying with Mercy, those people are so gracious. Then, another thing happened. There's a grandfather of mine, now my grandfather, he is a very, you know, those very kind-hearted grandfathers, but with very little power. I don't know how. Maybe because of the grandmother, I don't know, whatever. So my grandfather was very nice, but with very little power. He was trying to get me a better school because I was not a poor performer in school. So that year when I was staying with Mercy's parents and everything was good, I was still in the process of getting a better school. News came in that he is dead.
Hey.
We have to travel to the village for the burial. So we go for the burial. And in my life, I was like, no, grandfather was the one going to get me a good school. He's now gone. Where do I start? I was taken to some funny school in Western. I was not too happy staying there. I used to be number 1, but in my heart I was saying I'm just number 1 because there is no better person than me. I need somewhere that, okay, there was that challenge. Eventually, I have relatives in the States, and one of my aunties, who I'm named after, Auntie Dorcas, very good. She had had my struggle and everything, and she was not happy. And remember, in this process, I was having school fees challenge, not because we are poor, because there is money, but it's not reaching school. So my auntie would send school fees. It was the very same challenge that we would have even with my brothers. School fees would be sent, but you know what happens? It gets into the wrong hands. People eat it. You tell them, Auntie, I don't have school fees, I don't have money for shopping. She tells you, but I sent money. To who? The wrong hands.
Oh.
Dad ate. Who ate? It was like that for a while. So this aunt, in this time I called and told her, Auntie, I'm not happy where I am. And I'm not a fool. Help me. We spoke over the phone, and then she said, you know what? I'm going to sort you out. She made a call straight to Machakos Girls High School. That's where she went to school herself. So she called the principal of Machakos, and she said, I will be sending school fees there directly. You will go to school. Nobody will disturb you. And that is how now I was.
Ended up in school,
And
you were saved. Yeah.
And yes, and I was saved from all family drama and everything that was happening.
Right. Okay. Hold the thought.
Ooh, ma. Ooh, ma.
There we go. You are now, you've been dumped
Yes.
over Christmas.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
The whole world
Yes.
has turned against you.
Stand against me.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're going to your friends and tell them, just give me a place where I can sleep. Because my mom had already left. She had gone to Shags. I was just there with, my dad had come back, but somebody was coming, then he goes missing for 1 week. So I used to go to the house where he was staying. And funny thing, there's a lady I went to seduce that lady, and then one thing, she showed me my dad's number. That your dad was just here. Your dad was just here. So I'm like, okay. So then there's this time you're coming to the house, you're finding your friend with a lady into your dad's house. I used to fight with ladies because of my dad. I used to chase them away. It reached a time I said, I'm tired of this. I just want to get out of this slum. And I'm just really tired of this slum. Because probably the few friends who are there, some of them, the good friends, some of them had gone to campus, some of them had gotten work, but I'm the only one who was. So I was wondering what's wrong with me. Should I just go to the gang and just continue doing the thing? And I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? So there's this day, I sat down with my sister. She was married, she was living in Lakisama. I told her that kindly, I just need to go and I need to stay at your place because I'm going to school. I just lied to her because I was not going to school. I just needed to get out of that environment because you're waking up in the morning and you don't want, when it's about 6 p.m., you're very happy because you know it's going to be a peaceful day. When it's up getting around 5 a.m., 6:30, you're another day.
In the morning. And the day was too long.
It was too long for me, and I was tired because there's no TV. Leave alone that you'll be bored watching TV.
Yeah.
There's no TV where you can go
There's
and
no
watch.
TV to watch.
There's no TV to watch. There's no radio to listen to.
Yeah.
So I was just depending on neighbors. I had good neighbors who were my dad's neighbors. They would call me once they cook tea. They call me, come and drink tea. I drink tea. My other sister was up there, was cooking chapati. We used to go to her, and then we used to just sell the things that she was selling so that I can eat. So it was really tough for me because I'm seeing my friends, these other good friends are prospering, but I'm just stuck. And my sister took me in. I went to her place in Lakisama. That's when I received that text from this Nigerian guy. You need to go and listen to. I went. When we went there, I took a few of my friends. When we went to Madari, we sat down. Then Dr. Wale came in. Then when
Dr. Wale
Yes.
Akiyemi.
Yes.
A good man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when Dr. Wale came in, he said, I'm not giving you anything. I'm not giving you, the only thing I'll give you is a pen and a book. You have to write what I'm telling you. So I'm like, so many of my friends left.
God. He said, I'm not giving you.
I'm not giving you anything. You can sit down if you want to sit down. And yes, majority of the guys that came, they left. We were around 200. We left around 50. Because I thought to myself, where am I going? Let me just sit down and listen to this guy, what he has to say. So when Dr. Wale comes in, he starts telling us that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If your mind comes out of the slum, your body will follow. So it started changing my mindset. I was, oh, okay. So he started talking about the book of Hosea 4:6, that my people perish because they lack knowledge. My people are into captivity. Isaiah 5:30, my people are into captivity because they lack understanding. So it's all about knowledge. All the things that I was learning in the slum, I have to remove them, all these cobwebs that I cannot be reached. And I was listening to guys like Kenneth Copeland, that faith feeds on demand. You have to give your faith a demand. Like the children of Israelites, when they were leaving
Wow.
Egypt,
You have to give your faith a demand.
you have to give your faith a
Hey,
demand.
that's powerful.
The children of Israel, when they were leaving Egypt going to Israel, God knew there was a Red Sea. But why didn't they have to come to that Red Sea so that they can see the Red Sea? Why? God, maybe he could have made the things easy for them. Funny thing about the same verse, we are being told, the children started complaining to Moses. Then God said, why are you crying upon me? Move on. So meaning God wanted them to be inside the water so that Moses can. You need to give your face something to feed on. That changed my mindset.
Wow.
I said, wow,
Wow, that's powerful.
I need to
You're
yeah,
preaching to me. Wow.
you need to change. I started reading his books, reading Dr. Wali's books. I started waking up 4 a.m. reading his books. My sister was asking, where are you going? I'm telling her I'm going to work. I'm not going to work. I used to go to Kasarani, walk. Just go to companies, I'm knocking on doors. Is there work here? Is there work here? Then there's this Hindu guy who called me and said, I have work, but I don't have money to pay you. I have my garden. Can you just upkeep it? But I'll give you something to eat. I said, I'm okay. So long as I'll be busy, it's okay.
So what you're saying is that when you're not busy,
Yeah.
when you're not busy in the slum,
Yeah.
that is what affects your mind.
Yes.
To start now, they say an idle mind is
Yes.
the devil's
It's
workshop.
workshop, yes.
So that's what really affects the people out there in the slum.
Yes.
Because you're not busy.
You're not busy.
So now the sex is introduced.
Sex is introduced. Pornography,
is
yes.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that you're exposed. Somebody comes and tell you, there's this deal I made 20,000. Do you want to be part of it? I used to have friends who are ladies who are into prostitutes. So that's the life because the people who are making it are the gangsters and the prostitutes. Those are the people that who are doing great in the slum.
They looked like they were doing something worthwhile.
Yes, because when you go to their house, you find a 32-inch TV,
Yeah.
a carpet, sofa set. So you feel, because that's the life. Because when you live in a batty house, when you go to let's say a Gorofa,
Stone house.
yes,
Yeah.
you feel inspired one day. Because the only richness you know is when you go to a self-contained house. You've never been to. There's only one time I went to Buruburu, and when we went to Buruburu, there's a friend of mine who was seducing a girl in Kariobangi. So when we went to Buruburu, that's when I was like I was seeing a supermarket. I've never entered a supermarket ever in my life, and there are people even right now in the slum. They have never gone inside a supermarket. When you go there, you see all these things. You're inspired. We just stayed in Buruburu. I was just walking around. Wow. There's
Wondering, you mean these are human beings?
Yes.
That live like this?
There's another life beyond.
Beyond the slum.
Beyond the slum.
Right.
So my life started to change.
So Dr. Wale started to change your mind?
When I started changing my mindset, and I'm reading books, anything that I'm getting, I just want to read because I've been exposed to so many things. And there's one thing I learned, that when you take a ball and when you insert it inside the water, it will come up. What makes the ball to come up? It's the air inside it. So you need to fill your mind with information, with knowledge.
Hey!
So once you feed your
fill your mind with information.
Yes, once you feed your mind with knowledge, you'll come out of the slum because your mind cannot withstand the environment anymore. You'll have to come out of that environment. So that really changed me. And there was one thing that even God, when he wanted to change the world, he had to send the word. That's why the Bible says in the beginning there was the word, and the word was with God, and the world came to dwell amongst men. So God had to send information to change us. So it really changed my mindset, and I said, I really need to change this mindset.
Right.
So
So he told you, this is, let's go back, because you were running because of the 1,000.
Yes.
Because they had told you this man is giving 1,000 for people. So you are going for that.
Yes.
Not knowing
Yes.
that you are actually going to get better than the money.
Than the money. Is the information that when you go in, when you read, I was reading his books, The Billionaire Within, that you can, in every pauper is a king. So I was really thinking that one day I'm going to be great. I was really prophesying. And also when I was going to fame, I used to live in that house was so small. I used to pay around when I was living in a 500 house. It was so small because it reached a time I said I want to live where my sister was living, because it was affecting their marriage when I was living there. So I said I need just to go out. I started looking for a house. There's this house. It was a small house. I went in. I didn't have nothing. There's a friend of mine who gave me 800 shillings, and I went to buy a mattress. I went to stay in that house. So every morning when I was waking up, I used to, because we were being told, you need to give my faith in a place whereby I need to speak the things that I need to see. Because if what you see, because the saying normally goes, if what you see is what determines your life, then your faith needs to be bigger than that. So I used to speak a lot. I used to touch the wall of that house and say, I'm seeing my 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom house where I can sleep for 4 days. I used to speak about that house, speaking about it every morning when I wake up, when I'm coming to sleep, because I was leaving in the morning, come around 9 p.m. in that house. So things started to change in my life.
In your mind.
In my mind.
More than physically.
More physically.
In your mind, things began to change.
Things began to change. When I'm sitting down with my friends, I'm telling them in 5 years I'm not going to be here. I'm going to live in a different life. I'm just telling them, but I'm speaking in faith. For them, they are laughing.
They were laughing at you.
They are laughing at me. Where will you go? You're not educated. You don't have connection. You don't have anyone. But I was just speaking. I didn't let. There's something that Wale also told me, that when David went to the battlefield, when the children of Israel were facing the Goliath, when he asked, what will be given to the person who killed this man? He asked his brother. Then the brother told him, go back and do what the Bible says that he turned to him and to another. So the problem was not what he was saying. It was the problem, who was he looking at? So he was looking at so I said to myself, I'm talking to the wrong people. I'm really talking, these people, they are not connected. They cannot see.
They don't understand.
They don't understand.
Because now you are influenced.
Yes.
In another level.
In another level.
You're speaking faith.
Yes.
They are speaking what they see.
They see.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're speaking what is. You're speaking what is of the spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
For them, they are seeing where I am.
Right.
And they cannot connect the two.
Yo, hold that thought right there. Hey, this is too much. Like you're preaching to me. You know what I love the most? That is what my husband talks about. You know, he came from the slums. That's why you're really, and I know you're touching many lives even as they watch, because he came from the slums. So when you're speaking to me, I can just see him telling people, change your mind, turn it around, because it starts with the mind. Yeah.
Okay, so now here I am. I did my high school, I did well, fine, and then now my dad saw that this girl is not a fool after all. I
She's
can put
bright.
investment in her, you know. So he was just about to retire, and he thought, why not take her to college? And he had a good plan, solid plan. He's in the army, he's about to retire, so you are going to wear my crown, but you will not wear it at my level. You will now come into the army as a cadet. He had thought about how I would walk and people salute me. You know, everything he could not have gotten himself. So here I am, done, and then I meet some young man in the barrack whose father also is in the barracks. I get pregnant. All his dreams for me are shattered. Rejection in the family begins again. Just when it's all coming back together, you know, rejection comes back again. Aunties, after all, we knew you were going to.
Funny woman.
Yeah,
yes.
After all, we knew you can't go beyond. You were advertising yourself. You were, everything came. Everything that the things that were not even true started coming up. I got pregnant. And at this time, with all the rejection and the pressure that was happening around, I decided to move in with the guy. Now when we were staying together, I don't know. You know, the way you can have like a small discussion and then with our mouth, and then we say, hit me, and then they hit. And then you go like, you actually did.
He actually just did.
Hit again.
Yeah.
He hits again. And then you realize, okay, this one has been waiting to hit. You know?
Yeah.
So it began like that. I decided I can't stay. I moved out. A few years down now, the baby is about 2 years. Things happened. Life was also, I had nothing, no school degree, nothing. I mean, it was just all I am. People are just looking
the degree was the pregnancy.
Exactly. The degree is the baby now.
Yes.
You know? And then everyone that wants to take you in, they're already looking at a burden. If I help you, you are coming with
a bit.
You know, so
Yeah, too
everybody is
much.
seeing you as a burden. At that time, I completely had nowhere to go. There was nowhere else I could go. What did I do? I moved back to the guy who hit me the first time I said hit. I went and stayed there.
You're a woman